I'm Bill. It's a pleasure to be here at Slush. I was asked to speak about my experiences with two startups in the music technology space. A prior company called Simplify Media that was acquired by Google, and my current gig, Smule. Both of these companies were founded in the San Francisco Bay Area. In California, we use this word pivot a lot, perhaps too much. In fact, we even glorify pivots by suggesting that every startup should fail and then reinvent itself at least once, if not twice. I'm going to be a contrarian today and suggest that the reason we created value in these two companies is because we did not pivot. Not to say that we didn't have our fair share of changes. We certainly did, and I'll talk about those changes. But those are really more adaptations to help us get over obstacles in our path and stay the course, as opposed to pivots off into different directions. So I co-founded Simplify Media back in January 2006. If there are any Helsinki University students here, you'll be happy to know that 4 of our 5 co-founders studied together at Stanford University. In fact, 3 of us were in the same freshman dorm. So don't underestimate the importance of the friendships you make in school in your professional career. Our mission was to make it easy to access your media across all your devices. Our technical focus was on making it extremely simple to stream your music and other media remotely. We did this by enabling zero configuration P2P connections, and then we made those work within and across existing applications and platforms. So for example, you could have a Mac with your iTunes library on it at home. You could stream that music directly to a Windows laptop at work, and you could actually play the music back within Windows Media Player, or Winamp, or even within Rhythmbox on a Linux box. We were excited to extend this approach to the iPhone when we heard about the rumored iPhone, but we had a lot of doubters in the early days, especially investors, who said, I don't get it. The iPhone is going to be a combination of a phone and an iPod, and the iPod already has your music on it. Why the heck would I want to stream my music when I could carry it with me? Well, sometimes it pays off to persevere. We shipped the iPhone version anyway, and it was a big hit. We had several 100,000 downloads the first weekend, even though you couldn't even use the app until you installed our client at home, right on your computer. We were named to at least a dozen top 10 iPhone apps lists. It turned out that people didn't want to fill up their phones with their music, and they didn't want to physically plug in and resync every time they added a new song or a new playlist. We thought at first that our growth would be driven through sharing in private groups. But when we looked at the data, we were surprised to learn that nobody was listening to their friends' music. They were all listening to their own music libraries. These people had created their libraries, but they didn't have time to listen to them at home. But they did have time in the car, or at work, or at school. In fact, our average user streamed music in our apps for 1 hour a day, several times the average iPhone app. When we launched, it was a free app. Our investors wanted us to focus on growth. I can still remember them telling me, Bill, don't worry about making money, you'll figure that out later. Then, of course, the recession hit, and in late 2008, those same investors said, Bill, you need to find a way to make money now. So I figured, hey, no problem. People love our app, right? It's an hour a day. We get emails every day saying this app is the best app on the iPhone. I can't believe it. It's the best thing since sliced bread. So turns out when we started charging a few bucks, the most we could make from sliced bread was about 25 grand a month, which wasn't going to pay the bills for a team of 10 people in California. Luckily for us, some folks at Dell and HP had seen our iPhone app, and they were trying to solve similar problems. Dell at the time was working on a small wireless music player to compete with the iPod, and they wanted to be able to stream your home music to the device directly. That device, turns out, never shipped, but we got paid, so it worked out for us. HP, at the time, was selling millions of netbooks. Remember the netbooks? Right, the small laptops, they were going to take over the world just before the iPad actually did take over the world. And anyway, many of those netbooks ran Linux, and they had no way to access your iTunes library in Linux, and we did. So we ended up generating most of our revenue through OEM technology license deals, and that basically funded our operations through 2009. So I sold the company to Google in early 2010. We actually didn't expect Google to be an exit candidate for us because we didn't have an Android version. It was an iPhone app. But the Android folks were tired of hearing that the iPhone was better for media because of the iTunes integration. So they saw in us a way to co-opt the iTunes install base and stream your iTunes library directly to an Android phone without syncing. So our team became the founding members of the Google Music team. They've since changed to a cloud-based solution. They've added a Spotify-like streaming service, but they're still happily employed at Google, and they're still working on making it easy to stream your media to all your devices. Right? I think the biggest difference is that Google can afford to pay them a lot more than I ever did. Okay, so next company. One of my co-founders at Simplify was Jeff Smith. He was also one of those guys in my freshman dorm. I had worked for Jeff in 2 previous startups. At Simplify, though, he didn't want an operating role. He was the chairman of the board because he was going back to school at Stanford to get his PhD in music. In 2008, he saw the traction we had with the iPhone app, and he got very excited about using the iPhone as a platform for creating music. So he hooked up with a Stanford music professor, and they founded a new company, Smule, like Smile, but with a U. And from the start, they had a very big vision. They wanted to connect the world through music. So I'm currently responsible for revenue and partnerships at Smule. I wanted to walk you through how our business has evolved. Notice I didn't say pivoted. Most people may not know Smule as a brand, but you may know some of our apps. Ocarina was our first big hit where you held the phone and actually blew into the microphone and played it like a Peruvian flute. I Am T-Pain was another big hit. It used auto-tune to improve your voice. So even if you couldn't sing, you could sound like hip-hop star T-Pain. Glee was another similar app. It was a popular musical TV show in the US, and so you could sing along to your favorite songs. Currently, our top apps are Magic Piano, Sing Karaoke, AutoRap, and Guitar. But in all cases, we're trying to enable musical expression and collaboration. So we're not a gaming company. So Jeff learned from our painful experience with free apps at Simplify and said from the start, we're always going to charge for our apps to prove we have a business model. And even though we had several big hits, it's very difficult to grow revenue steadily with an upfront app model, right? Because all the revenue comes in when it ships, and then it tails off dramatically. So when all the games switched to the freemium model, we tried that as well. It was a free app, but you had to do in-app purchases to unlock songs. But we weren't a gaming company, and that model didn't work for us. It was too much friction to have to go through a paywall every time you wanted to play or try out a song. So about 1.5 years ago, we switched to a subscription business model. So there's a few songs you can get for free, but if you want to unlock the good ones to play along to or sing along to, you either have to watch some video ads or you can subscribe for unlimited access to our entire catalog. And that's actually worked quite well for us. As you can see here, this chart is out of date. We'll do actually $40 million in revenue this year, so we'll practically double. And more than 85% of that will be through subscriptions. What's even more impressive, perhaps, is that as an apps company, we doubled revenue last year without shipping any new apps. Instead, we're focused on increasing engagement with our existing apps and linking our apps together to build what we call the Smule Nation, our network of users. So for example, in our Sing Karaoke app, you can now sing a duet with other people from around the globe. So you're jointly creating a performance. Even with our Magic Piano and Guitar apps, you can now play along to another user singing a song from the Sing app. Here's a quick example. Hopefully this works.
Every time I see your bubbly face, I get the tingles in a silly place. It starts in my toes and I crinkle my nose. Wherever it goes, I always know you make me.
Okay, 2 weeks ago, we shipped an update to our Sing app on iOS where now you can create a music video or even a music video duet with other people around the globe Here's a fun example featuring my friend Jeff's daughter.
Video is coming to soon, and I love to dance, so this will be tons of fun. A tisket, a tasket, a brown and yellow basket. I'm excited to use it with my dad, even when he's away for business. The way I dropped it.
That's Jeff there.
I can't wait to see who else will join my music video. Was it green? No, 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 no.
Was it red? No, 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 no.
Was it blue? No, 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 no. Just a little yellow basket. A little yellow basket.
Very cute. So, we still have work to do to complete this evolution from a collection of disparate apps into a social network connected through music, right? But we are making progress. We've got about 20 million monthly active users. We have over 1 terabyte of user-generated content uploaded to the platform every day. And all these changes I mentioned, they're just taking us close to that original goal of connecting the world through music. And here's what the Smule Nation looks like. This is a map of locations from which songs have been uploaded in our Sing Karaoke app. So you can see we're doing pretty well. I think we have Norway pretty well covered, even some folks up in Lapland there. As I said, we have work still to do, so I think we need a lot of help, apparently in Siberia and the Sahara Desert and other locations. But if we can stay focused, if we can avoid pivots and actually succeed in our goal of connecting the world through music, then we'll have created real value for our company and for our users. Kiitos, and thanks very much.